We defeated Faba Beans. Time to take on the rest of Aether Foundation.
And by that we mean
look.
There's 5 trainers in a... Oh, wait, whoa, hold the phone. If your trainer's eyes lock, you have to battle Gladion, alright?
Gladion wasn't looking at him.
He closed his eyes and ran.
Well, then why can't we do that?
Yeah, so...
Because we don't blink.
We unfortunately have to go through Nugget Bridge.
That facepalm there was because he opened his eyes too soon.
So yeah, we have to go through Nugget Bridge.
Well, thankfully it's only 3, so, you know.
Same idea, though.
Well, wait, hold on a moment. We gotta make sure there's no... Wait, Conrad, wait, what are you doing?
Go around
wait,
the bridge?
come back.
Pilfering their stuff.
Ooh.
Pilfering their stuff.
Conrad is a lowland coward.
Ooh, piece of candy.
You know, they
Ooh,
really
piece of
shouldn't
candy.
just leave these things lying around, you know.
Hold them off for me, Hao. I'll be right there.
And wipe that smile off your face.
I can't.
Is
I've
this
been
a...
trying for years.
Is this a pre-rendered cutscene? No, then don't expect anything from me.
Speaking of, clean and sterile, I'm really, this is a weird detail, but, they're solar-powered, apparently.
Apparently, they're also... I think they say Pokemon's what keep them floating above the ocean. So why they couldn't just make it a floating thing, like in the water? I don't know, it would probably save that Pokemon a lot of work. Just saying. You know. But whatever.
Random grunt.
You know, back in my day, these grunts had 4 Pokemon with them.
So, what is Team Skull doing here?
They're actually working for Lucamine.
Yeah, Lucamine is funding Team Skull in order for them to do, the grunt work that she wouldn't be able to get her employees to do, in the publicly, basically.
Also as a bit of a foil to say, oh, here's Team Grunt doing all this awful stuff. Give your Pokemon to us, we'll take care of everything.
Yeah, basically. So the Aether Foundation is corrupt? What?
Oh, it'd be really fucking obvious if it was the Luther Foundation.
Dude, that guy got elected president, okay?
To be fair, I would still vote for Lex over Trump.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you can't be the, wow, how could anybody vote for him complaint anymore? That doesn't really fly these days.
Although, really, when Lex Luthor was president, did he do anything bad?
He could have outlawed Superman.
Not any worse than he normally does, anyway.
It's actually a plot point in, I think, one of the Justice League Public Enemies, was it?
Yeah.
What was the guy's name? The silver guy that could control nuclear radiation or something.
Captain Atom.
Like that. Captain Atom, yeah, goes on and say you may not like the idea, but as he in the seat, he did this for us and did this for us. So you may not like the guy.
Since I am military, I do technically have to follow his orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Lex Luthor didn't really start to do anything dumb until the meteor thing happened.
Yeah.
Started injecting himself with that ecto-cooler.
I mean, though, this is also the guy who put on a green radiation suit and started beating up Superman in public, though. So,
well, that was part of the same storyline. But the thing, if I remember correctly, Lex Luthor, he only started to go bad when the meteor thing happened because he saw it as an opportunity to discredit Superman. And
that kind of backfired on him.
Yeah, his grudge against Superman was the one point where his presidency actually sort of fell apart. Okay.
So the chain of command here is that Guzma beats Gladion, Gladion beats Hal, Hal beats the... No, wait, no, that doesn't work. We're better than everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, Guzma is essentially second in command behind Lucamine at this point.
Yeah.
And the reason Guzma goes along with this is because Lucamine is the only person who actually recognizes his ability.
Yeah, she's nice to him. Basically,
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of really weird mommy issues kind of stuff going on there. Although, if you actually...
Well, no, if you actually go to his house on Melee Island, you basically find out that Guzma's dad was pretty abusive.
Yeah, but his mom was nice, though, is the thing. So,
yeah.
Again, this game gets pretty dark pretty quickly from this point. Oh, what? Oh my god, it's almost like this is an actual boss fight. Jesus shit. Or Well,
the other problem is, well, not really problem, sorry, that was a wrong choice of words. The other really weirdly dark thing about it is that it doesn't inherently say, family-wise, that that's a good or bad thing aside from Guzma's perspective, because that is just straight up wrong, because as we'll see with Lily and Gladions, that they still love Lucamina even though she was pretty terrible to them.
well, here's the thing. Like, that is a complicated aspect about relationships like these, because, you know, a lot of the times you do care for your parents, even if they are, like, even just straight up abusive, because it's a complicated family dynamic. Because
well, the other thing is, if you're raised in a bad environment, there are a couple ways that can go. I mean, you could wake up one day and realize that everything is fucked, and you know, and be completely against it. But what's more common is that environment affects your perception of what is right and wrong about the world, and you wind up sort of.
That's what happened.
Generally, you don't wake up without some form of perspective.
Yeah, that's actually what happens in this game, because I mentioned this way earlier, but back on Melee Island, when Lily's talking to the player character's mom, she says, like, oh, wow, your mom's really nice, and they specifically put, like, a bunch of ellipses there. And it's just like, yeah, she's not used to the idea that the way that Lucamine treated her wasn't normal, you know, because unfortunately...
Well, the other thing is, it's a little less clear than the others, but Hao's family isn't perfect either, because...
We don't know much about his parents at all.
No, but we do know that apparently Hao's dad left the region because he was tired of trying to live up to Hala's basically shadow. So even though they still are a caring family, they still have issues.
Yeah. And that's also one thing that I really like about this game, which we'll see more later on, is that just because they care about their mom and they want to rescue her when that becomes a thing, that doesn't mean that they excuse her shit. As specifically in Vanilla Sun and Moon. We'll talk later about the changes in Ultra, which make a lot of this stuff not work as well.
Yeah.
Just straight up worse, but like, they don't excuse Lucamine's actions in Vanilla Sun and Vanilla Moon. They do, they try to in Ultra, and that's why it doesn't work, because that diminishes her capacity as a villain, for one, and it also sends really weird mixed messages to kids who could be playing this, you know? Because, like, you know, I think it's actually important, like, I mean, granted, like, parental abuse is a dark topic for a kid's game, but I do think that it's important to not, like, expose them to, like, all the horrors or to, like, be preachy about it in a game, but this game does a good job of, like, telling kids in a not super obvious way, but in a way that they would be able to understand if they were in that situation, that, no, this isn't right, and you don't have to put up with it, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's kind of... Well, I brought up Harry Potter before in this playthrough, but Severus Snape again? A lot of people try to talk like him having his, you know, a sort of romantic good guy alignment for reasons toward the end of the story excuses everything that he did. They seem to forget, like, in book 4, he was the guy who looked at Hermione when she had magically engorged teeth and said, "I see no difference," and sent her running away crying. So, you know, you can be an awful person and have other layers to you, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't make you any less awful, but, you know...
Yeah.
Well,
and that's one of the reasons why Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's plot... Because, like, look up right here, like, Lucamine just says, "I don't have a daughter," basically, is what she's saying right now, which is, of course, terrible. And this scene is almost exactly the same in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
But then you get to the Ultra wormhole parts, it's like, oh no, I was actually trying to just stop the evil menace of the Ultra Beast. It's like, what? And
not only that, they have other scenes after the fact where they just try to be like, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I'm okay." And it's like, no, that's not, like, I can understand. Here's the thing. I've seen a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I like it this way because everybody's a happy family." And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, but you don't just jump to that point, you know? Like,
yeah, it's
like,
not instant.
I'm the kind of person who believes that, like, if everybody's willing to actually go for it, that, like, forgiveness and whatnot can be possible, but you don't jump straight to it. That's not believable. Also, it's not healthy.
It's not the way people work.
No. Also,
No.
like, look at this. Like, this is definitely still in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where she's got all these Pokemon frozen in these things, because that's what she means by preserving them. Pokemon preservation mean I'm gonna cryo freeze them.
This world isn't perfect.
Like, this is straight up one of the creepiest things in the Pokemon series is this lab where, like, again, you see...
Although, to be fair, the Slowpoke probably isn't even aware it's frozen.
Yeah, but it's just like, look at all these things. They're, like, frozen in here for
What
who
you
knows...
don't see,
Why does Pikachu get the big tank?
what you don't see is 2 feet to the right is a block of ice with Captain America in it.
Yeah.
And Han Solo.
And on the left is Nor Freeze.
Further back is Han Solo in the Carbonite.
Why don't you just confess who you really are?
The
You're
computer's
John.
actually
You're John
running
Lennon.
off of Mega Man X's hardware.
Now, one thing I do like about Lucamine in a gameplay sense is that it's something I was kind of hoping they would do at some point, is they would make the Big Bad use kind of the cutesy, more popular Pokemon.
Yeah, we'll be seeing that.
Yeah,
Oh
soon,
my
like
gosh,
right now in
they're
this
brother
battle.
and sister, aren't they?
Yep.
I
Yes.
just caught that.
Yep, they're all related.
But yeah, it's something I was wishing they would do, and they finally did, because aside from like the team captains for like Maxi, teams basically consisted of 3 types: Dark, Bug, and Poison,
Yeah.
and that was about it.
Yeah, so this is like a
So you can.
this is a
This is a
great
breath of fresh.
Yeah, this is like actually a well put together team, which is weird.
Well, it's a well put together team, and it's a nice subversion of, oh, we're only going to use the creepy, gross Pokemon for the bad guys.
Yeah, you know. Now, to bitch about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon a little bit more here, in that game, this scene is basically set up almost exactly the same. Like, with everybody coming in and talking, some of the dialogue is minorly reworked here. Like, I think Lucamine talks about, like, going through the Ultra Wormhole, and maybe she mentions Necrozma or whatnot. But the thing is that in that version of the game, you are the only, like, everybody else is here. Gladion's here, Guzma's here, Hao's here. You're the only one who fights Lucamine in that version. In this version, like, right here, like, we're gonna see that Lucamine uses Cosmog to open the wormhole, and the Ultra Beast pops out. And so Gladion's like, okay, I'm gonna fight the Ultra Beast. Hao, you fight Guzma. Hero, you fight Lucamine. And so that, like, works in a dramatic sense. And
Jellyfishing, jellyfishing, jellyfishing.
in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, everybody's just standing around watching like it's a Dragon Ball Z fight, basically, and it bothers me.
Why
To be
would
fair,
they-
I am significantly stronger than everyone else, so.
I really don't get the point of removing story content in the Ultra versions.
Well, they didn't. No, it's not that they removed story content. They
changed
it.
a lot of things for no particular reason.
Well, they did remove story content because they removed the Ultra Beast side quest, but that was replaced with Rainbow Rocket.
The Rainbow Rocket. So
They changed in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Lucamine. Okay, well, let me just explain what Lucamine is doing in this game. It's backstory: Lucamine's husband fell into an Ultra Wormhole, and they couldn't find him. So Lucamine.
And she went kind of nuts as a result.
Yeah, so she found the jellyfish Pokemon there, Nihilego, in the wormhole and became obsessed with it, which is why Lily's dressed as it. For the record, you know, subtlety. Oh my gosh, what? So she wants to find the Ultra Beasts and care for them with her love, aka she's bonkers. In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, she wants to save the world from Necrozma.
Necrozma.
So she's going to open Ultra Space Wormhole and do it because of that.
So in this game, she's an original character with a pretty good concept that's more or less all her own, and in the Ultra version, she's Jin Kazuma from Tekken. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, basically. She's like, I don't care if I hurt this one Pokemon if I can save
Save the world.
And basically she's right, you know, in that version of the game. Like, you know, there's no reason not to. One thing I will say is that I do like the cutscene where the Ultra Beasts attack the Kahunas a little bit better in the Ultra version, but that's a very minor thing.
Yeah, and I like the idea of the Kahunas still having some level of plot relevance,
Yeah.
along with the legendaries in a sense.
Yeah, because they're like, okay, Ultra Beasts are all over the place. Because it would make sense that not just one would fall out, so why aren't there any others? Because the Kahunas took care of them. Like, that's a cool cutscene. It's just that, like, it's a minor improvement over a story point that's just ultimately done way worse in Ultra,
I wanted to ask you guys
Yeah.
something. Like, I'm looking at all these cutscenes now, and I'm seeing where the plot's going, and I keep thinking, this game still ends with the battle against the Elite Four, which has nothing to do with what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Would you guys be okay if there wasn't an
That
Elite
happens.
Four? Like, if this
That
is
happened. Gen 5. In Gen 5, the final boss is just straight up Gestus. If you want to fight the Elite Four, that's post-game. And it works great. I love the ending
Yeah.
to Black and White
Okay.
1.
Is that Gen 5
Yeah,
Part
Gen
1?
5
Yes,
Part
part
1.
1.
Okay, that's probably why I
Yeah,
didn't
Gen
think
5
about
Part
it, 'cause I
1's
never
great, dude.
finished
Give it another
Part 1.
shot. Like, it is...
It was so slow.
No, it speeds up so quick, though. Like, did you even get past the second gym? Okay, well then...
Well, that's why then.
Yeah, like, honestly...
That's what. I'm still right. It's very slow.
It's not really all that slow at the beginning. Like, I was just replaying it the other day.
It's not any slower than Gen 3 or 4, really.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know Gen 3. I never played Gen 3.
yeah.
If I were to say anything, is that Black and White? That is the gen we're talking about, right?
Yeah, Black and
Yes.
White 1, specifically.
Black and White 1 was a bit of a shift in the way Pokemon games were being designed, and the beginning reflects that.
Yeah.
So
Well, so my follow-up is: do you guys think I mean, because it's an ongoing plot, not really the main focus, but how this island is establishing its own Pokemon League for the first time. Like, we're seeing the origins of it here. Do you guys feel the Elite Four and all that sort of thing at the end game was kind of forced?
A smidge. It felt a little bit because we have to have it because it's a Pokemon game, but it does tie narratively to not so much with obviously Lucamine's group, but more with what Kukui's doing.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a random thing. Oh right, you beat all the trials. Go fight the Elite Four. It's like no, it's something that's been built up throughout the course of the game.
Not to mention,
you know-
there's a really cool twist to it as well, which we'll talk about when we get to it, which I thought was kind of worth it as well.
I'm used to video games having several different, not necessarily connected plots going on. The thing is, that kind of thing can work in a video game where it can't necessarily work in another medium because the story experience can be meandering that way.
Yeah, the only other medium where it really works is books, basically, where you can have
To
a chapter.
a certain
yeah,
extent.
yeah, but you
Like,
know,
you can have that sort of thing. You can have that sort of thing in a multi-book series. If you're trying to do a standalone story within a single novel, it's usually best to prune a lot of that stuff out.
Yeah, that's
Usually,
a good point.
there are exceptions. It works better for books than it does for movies, and television shows it can work to an extent.
Basically, the longer the runtime of your story, the easier it is to have multiple plot points. Basically,
Yeah, but it's even easier in a video game because the player can, to a certain extent, decide when and where to tackle what points.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, like Ryan was saying, Lucamine uses not only Pokemon that are like cutesy, but also really tough too. Like, it's kind of weird. Generally speaking, the scary-looking Pokemon, for some reason, never really end up being super strong. Like, I'm sorry, Charizard's just not very good as a Pokemon.
Oh, hey, Charizard is my jam, man. Come
I
on.
know, and he's a great Pokemon, but he's not a great Pokemon.
Granted,
Lewis, he's your jam mon.
Granted, I am rocking one that has like a dragon type egg move, so
Yeah.
that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, but, like, Pokemon like, say, Melodic here, or Clefable with its weird abilities and stuff like that, like, she's running really strong Pokemon, whereas, like, normally a team leader will have, like, Mightyena or Golbat.
Although Lucamine isn't just going with cutesy Pokemon, she's also going with Pokemon that have an elegant sort of intimidation factor going on, which fits her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I'm quite glad they finally did that, because I was getting a little tired of, let's put all the bad Pokemon, the bad teams use all, the poison, dark, and bug types, which have their share of fans. We can stop scapegoating these particular types just because they're normally not, quote-unquote, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this extends all throughout Aether Paradise, too. Like, they're not generally... Like, Fava uses Psychic types, which is generally not a bad guy team Pokemon, you know? Like, they're kind of the creepier psychic types because he's a little shit. But, you know, like, they subvert a lot of things subtly in Sun and Moon, which I appreciate.
Which is probably why it's been so well received overall.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Like the best received Pokemon games are the ones that kind of go against the normal Pokemon grain.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't be able to get the normal Pokemon grain if we didn't have like Gens 3 and 4 and 6.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's like, again, like, you know, like
What the?
yeah,
what?
That's Beware.
That's almost as bad as the
Beware.
ice cream cone.
No, this Pokemon's great, okay, because it's adorable and fluffy. But the Pokédex entry for this Pokemon reads that it just wants to give trainers hugs, and its hugs are so powerful that it snaps their spines.
Yes.
That's okay.
It kills trainers
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
love.
with love.
And it's a running gag in the anime where it's just constantly chasing Jesse and James trying to hug them.
Yeah, like
It's
one
just-
of the best scenes from early on in the anime is like Ash waving to the Beware, and the Beware's like, "Hi!" and then it accidentally bumps a tree and it knocks over, and then Ash's face goes like, "Ah!" It's great.
It's just, you know, she was using such cool Pokemon up until now.
Hey, this is supposed to be one of the cute ones, and I think it's cute.
I think it's cute, and Beware is stupidly tough.
Stupid.
It's cute, but it's also ridiculous, which kind of clashes with the tone of her team so far.
Yeah, Beware not only is really, really strong, I believe that this one has the ability, which I believe ups the defense of its attacks if it does direct contact by half, I think. But I think that also comes with effectively giving it an extra weakness to fire types, if I remember correctly.
I also just love the
Yeah.
name.
Oh, I
Beware.
used a Beware for my first playthrough, but unfortunately I got the one with the other ability, which is Klutz, which means that held items don't work on it. So yeah, like one of its abilities is one of the best, the other's one of the worst. Guess which one I got?